I can't feel my tongue.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to LINC Presents Burning Questions. This is our loving parody of another internet show where people answer interview questions while eating spicy food. We happen to get a hold of the same set of hot sauces that some of those other shows use, and so we thought, what should we do with this? And the obvious answer was, let's talk library while we torment ourselves with pepper sauce. So we have each in front of us 10 pieces of popcorn chicken. Each one is coated in a sauce of increasing spice. And then I have a set of 10 questions that I will ask as we eat our spicy chicken. So that's how it goes. With me here today, I have Dr. Matthew Hortt, our executive director. I also have David Turner, our creative technologist for the district. Here I have Aaron McHugh, one of our phenomenal innovation techs for the wood shop. And then I have Alyssa Johnson, another of our innovation techs who primarily works in the makerspace. So very talented group here. We're going to get some great answers. I'm really excited. So let's get started.
Yeah.
Our first sauce is a classic buffalo hot sauce. So top left corner of your tray there.
Buffalo sauce.
Buffalo sauce. So the LINC Library Innovation Center is this visionary, award-winning library. Won 2 ACE awards. Just the building project for our contractors won 2 ACE awards. We also won the Innovative Spaces Award from the Colorado Association of Libraries. So this is a very celebrated building just in its first year since it launched May 13th of 2023. How has the vision matched the reality, and where have you found that it's a little different from how we pictured it?
I think one of the big things that I didn't anticipate that's happened that's a little bit different is, we wanted it to be a destination location, but I think we didn't realize that it would be a destination where families would come and spend like a majority of the day. When we talk to, the museum people, they say, yeah, well, we have more people come through the door. And I said, yeah, but they might be at one exhibit for like 5 minutes. Like, families will come here and be here all day. And I think that's just one of the fascinating things that I've seen. It's not what I expected.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think when you put together an idea like what we have at the LINC, it looks great on paper, but you never really know exactly how it's going to go until you're in the middle of it. And we had to innovate ourselves in order to match the innovation for the spaces. We had to find the best way to use what we have to make it optimized. How can we best serve our patrons with what we have while also maintaining, equality and fairness around everything. And over the course of the last year, the team has really come together with that, and our cogs are kind of driving really well, so we can best utilize our spaces to best serve the community that we're in.
Yeah. I know for me it was the initial, there wasn't anything on paper, it was more of a daydream, and I was like, I don't know if there's ever going to be anything that's just going to say, hey, here's this cool big space. If you could go ahead and get a bunch of tools and do cool things, that'd be great. So like having a woodworking background, I never thought I'd be at a library. So now I get to take all my years of experience and education and bring that and like pass it on to the community. And where like even being a woodworker, I don't have this kind of a shop at home. So having that available to use and for all of the community to use, like it's just so much fun to watch.
Hey, we're opening a new library. Would you come operate the table saw for us?
Yeah. Well, and it's cool to see that this is a place for education and knowledge. And so what does that look like outside of books?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's time to eat some more chicken.
Yeah.
All right. So our second sauce here, standing at a Scoville heat rating of 5,800, is a blistered shishito and garlic sauce.
Ooh, I've been excited for this one.
Yeah.
Tastes like garlic.
That one's good.
Those are really good.
So we put this out there, but who do you see benefiting from LINC? Who are we seeing? Are we seeing techies? Are we seeing crafters, families, local businesses, organizations? From your perspective, what is the impact that this building is having on the community around us?
I would say it's incredibly widespread. We see families, and those families are becoming crafters, and they're becoming woodworkers, and we're seeing people come in to do different things here, whether it's joining the summer reading program and helping their kids learn to read, to learning how to operate a table saw. So we have something for everybody here. We serve the community wide.
Yeah, no, for sure. A lot of those things. And I mean, even more so, I can't even tell you how many emails or people come in and I'm with blah, 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 and I want to see what we can do with you. And we've done some really cool partnerships and we'll continue to do some more. And I think that's a big part of it too. And really, we are a staple of our community and of the downtown area and really helping with that. And that's what I love too about it.
And I would say probably everyone else in the room, more than myself, can speak to that day to day. Who's coming through the door here, who you're interacting with, who you're helping. I think from the community standpoint, the broader community, really a lot of the nonprofits want to meet here. The school district wants to meet here. Seems like every other city meeting I get invited to ends up being here. So I think that's a really big impact for the community. But then also just, and it sounds really odd to think of a library as an economic driver, but one of the reasons, and I actually have this in writing, that Alquist 3D moved to town was, John Gates, the mayor, actually brought them here as they were trying to close the deal. And they said, well, hey, if this community has this kind of library, we want to be there. And I did get that confirmed from their CEO. So I think we're seeing a broader impact on the community.
People have their families come visit from out of town, and they're like, you know what you got to come see? The library. And they're like, so Greeley has nothing to offer. Cool.
Yes.
And then they get here and they're like, why don't we have this?
It really, truly is
What?
a wonderful destination library. It is accomplishing what we set out to do.
All right, we ready for some more chicken?
Sure.
Yeah.
What you got?
All right.
Just sweet.
Not really.
Taste the passion.
There's a little heat kind of at the end, but it's more sweet and just kind of, it
Yeah.
complements it nicely.
We're building up. We're still
It's like
in the...
almost like a honey barbecue.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It does not
Yeah,
taste
it's
like
nice.
passion fruit.
No.
Yeah, I would say a honey barbecue with
Yeah.
just a little bit of heat at the end. Not like bad heat,
No,
just,
it's honey. Yeah.
just a little linger heat, yeah.
Speaking of a little heat, launching a project of this size is bound to have complications and frustrations and growing pains, right? What are some of the biggest challenges that you've seen that the staff have had to overcome launching LINC into its first year of life?
When we opened the LINC, I don't think we really anticipated that we were going to have an average of 25,000 patrons a month. I don't think any of us were really ready for that. And so, getting people hired on and getting people trained and, having them become library people like the rest of us. I think that was kind of interesting. We open innovation spaces and we're like, oh yeah, we've got a person in there at any point. And then all of a sudden you go from that one person is enough to, oh, I could use 3 people in here because we're busy. And so I would say like that's been one part of it is being able to meet the patron demands.
I think the biggest concern and issue that we ran into with this building is the sewer line runs east to west directly under the middle of the building. And I remember the construction meeting when the city told us we had to move the main sewer line for town. About a month of arguing and fighting finally led to another way that we could actually get through it. Because there were nights when I was sitting there going, are we going to have to abandon like a $30 million project to just not do it? Because there's no way we can move the sewer line. So, well, my favorite question I've gotten this week is, so you really let people walk in the library with knives so they can be sharpened? Like, well, we'd like them in sheaths or like covered somehow, but yeah.
It's also recommended to let security know that you're doing a sharpening class that day.
I'm just waiting for like Machete to come open and just like open his jacket and just hold the knives around.
It's a whole new world.
Yeah. All right. And speaking of a whole new world, it's time for a whole new chicken.
Oh, I'm already turning red.
All right.
I don't mind that.
Not bad.
I don't think it's spicy at all. really.
No.
It's got a little bit of after.
I
but
get like
it's
a
not-
little fruit almost out of
Yeah, I
it.
was
Yeah,
gonna
I was
say
like-
it's
Like a
almost more
pineapple?
like
Not
a
sweet fruit, but
sweet like peach pineapple something.
At the end, yeah.
yeah.
We're living in a culture that's more and more about instant gratification. You know, you can find anything online in a moment. You know, so how are you finding people responding to this offer of skill building? Are people, you know, are they coming in and it's just the flash and the glitter, you know, and they're like, this is great, you know, but they don't stick it out? Or are you finding that people really are all about learning new skills and they climb that ladder?
I'd say it's a mix of both.
Okay.
I carried a lot of teaching experience with me before I came over here, so I have that kind of teaching background. And one of the things that I used to say to my students, and I still say now to the patrons, is they'll say, it's too hard. And I'm like, let me ask you a question. I'm teaching my 6-year-old how to tie her shoes, and she tells me it's too hard. And then I ask them, do you think tying your shoes is too hard? And in most cases, they're like, no, of course not. And I say, so it's only hard right now. For my daughter, tying her shoes is the hardest thing she can think of right now. But you're so much far past that. So it's a try again. Everything's a learning experience. And then I like to tell them the story of my t-shirt that I keep in the makerspace, where I was doing a t-shirt, centered it wrong, so I cut off half my picture. And they're like, oh, that's all right. And I was like, so the next time, did the back to practice, got it perfectly centered, pressed it again, it's upside down. And I was like, by all means, I'm a professional crafter and I still have these issues, you know, we're all human. And I think a little bit of encouragement goes a long way to retention, and a warm environment goes a long way to that encouragement, having them come back, strong sense of community where they walk in and they're like, guess what I screwed up? And I'm like, guess what I screwed up? And we can kind of have that sort of come together, and then we work through those kind of troubles. So
Celebrating the mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I think I find too that the people who are willing to at least try a little bit are ones that we get back more and more. And I find that when we just help a patron, we don't seem to see them back quite as much. So I know our team really pushes to make them do the work, and we're just assisting them. And it really helps the gratification on that too.
the phrase, well, I might need some help. Coincidentally, that is exactly why I'm here right now. So please bring it on.
The amount of times I hear, like, I know you're really busy and you've got a job to do, so it's like, I don't want to take too much of your time. I'm like,
That is our job.
yeah,
Our job is to
I
help
am
you.
busy and I have a
Please.
job to do, and it's helping you with your questions. So
Or they'll
please let
say,
me do my job.
Oh, I have a stupid question. No, you don't. It's not a stupid question, because I'd rather you ask that question than you go over and hit that button and blow up the machine. You know,
Yeah.
I mean,
I will take a stupid question over a stupid action every day.
right. But I also, for the most part, too, appreciate how much our patrons do ask those questions and want to know more about stuff. And I find, too, that one thing I really love about our team, too, is when we don't know that answer, because we don't know everything about all of our stuff that we have, we go find it, though. And we can find it for them, and we get it to them. I think that's really cool, too.
Well, and I think that's one of the really fascinating things about this location and this space is that I remember starting in libraries 25 years ago, yeah, not 30 years ago now. You know, people were really scared just to like be loud in the library.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden, you're going to get hit with a ruler if you do. And now it's, well, now I'm afraid of the big loud machines you have. So I just think it's amazing to see that progression. And I think the key to that is that the environment that this team's built here. And Dave, too. You're part of that, too.
He's part of the team.
Ready to kick it up a notch?
Yeah, let's
Some
go.
Filipino flavor here with
Ooh.
Power Jab, number 5.
Power jazz. Yep.
That's spicier.
There's a citrus undertone to that one.
It reminds me of lumpia.
Lime,
Yeah.
maybe?
Or almost a little
Alright.
ginger.
Yeah, it has
Oh, it might be
Yeah.
ginger.
You definitely feel it a little bit more, though.
Oh,
don't
no,
you?
that one was
Yeah.
spicier.
Ginger's a
Yeah.
little-
It's lingering longer, but it's not like...
But it didn't taste bad.
Yeah.
All right, so while that's burning on your tongue, LINC has a lot of programs and a lot of technology to offer. And if you had your way and money was no object, what would you add to LINC's menu?
Plasma cutter.
They're speaking my language.
There's also a new 3D printer that prints in what is it, over 500,000 different colors or something ridiculous like that. and prints full color 3D printed models out of resin, but it's $100,000.
Welding?
Change. Surely we.
I think if we
Welding.
continue on with the skills, a welding setup would be pretty
Yeah,
cool.
welding would be cool.
Blacksmithing.
Yeah, we got a lot.
Okay.
Some billows.
5-axis CNC.
I'd say anything that Snap-on Tools would give us.
Embroidery would be a good one.
Tufting gun.
Ooh, a long arm quilting has been highly requested.
Okay.
DTF printer.
Yep.
Automotive lift.
What's my budget? Because I can find
So
things.
effectively, this is a long list that we could write up.
Actual audio studio. Because we've had a lot of people ask about for like recording music and
Like
stuff. And
mixer and isolation booth and
yeah,
that sort of
like
thing.
having
Yep.
actual for audio.
Yep, I
Well,
think a lot of people would.
coming
That definitely
into
costs
this-
more than all the things on my list.
Oh no,
Yeah.
for sure.
All right.
Okay.
Ready for some more chicken?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
We're getting hotter.
It's almost like sour.
Yeah.
And
How
That one
do
had
you
less of a
smoke
kick
a
than
ghost?
I would say
Ginger
that
lime
less
one,
than the
actually.
one, yeah.
And whiskey, apparently.
I mean, it's a little bit at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was
I
a
get
little
that.
sour.
Yeah.
Almost.
Had some tang to it.
Mm-hmm. I'd eat that one too.
Yeah.
All right. So, did you ever accomplish anything through the launch of LINC that it was ever doubtful you would pull this off? Like, what was the scariest roll of the dice in the first year, and how did it turn out?
Well, I will start. If that's okay. Because I actually have a real good one. I have two things. I was super worried as we talked about hiring the innovation techs about finding people who had the soft skills, but also could learn how to use these machines and deal with all the library stuff, and find people that could work in these spaces because it's so new to us. So I was really worried about finding good quality people for that, which, thank God, we nailed. The team is awesome. Love them all. But I was really worried about the wood shop, actually, because I don't have a background in woodworking, and I knew the big stuff, but as Brooke kept talking to me about, like, well, what do you want to do for this? I don't know.
And then we were in those meetings going, oh, David's got this. Yeah, just ask him.
And I'm like, I don't know. I'm not a woodworker. I don't know enough. I mean, I could pick things, but then after talking with Melissa a little bit about it, and my plan of, no, let's wait till we get our woodworking. Let's see what they know, and then let them help finish rounding out that. And that really helped. But those were two big fears for me and worries that I just was worried we were not going to be able to pull off. But we did. So
I think that I've seen a lot of, like I've mentioned before, growth in myself throughout the course of the last year, because for that first little bit, your machines are new and things go right, and then things start to not go right all the time. And, it's like an old car. Eventually, when one piece goes out, then another goes out, then another goes out. And so there was one point where we had some issues with our lasers, and we're like, oh, this is going to be really expensive to maintain, and we can't have them down. We have to have them functioning. It's going to be expensive. So workarounds. I would say, keeping the space in working order. That's one of the things a hurdle that is challenging, but proud of how we've handled it. We've been able to really minimize the amount of damage that have occurred to our machines, and we're able to fix everything in-house too, which is not something that was previously in my skill set, but it is now. So pretty happy with that.
And I would say for me, the biggest, scariest thing was that opening day. Is anyone going to show up?
well, they
Like,
did.
I had nightmares. I'm
One or
like,
two.
is anything going to show up? I remember my first day at work was the day that we bought the board bought the old Lincoln Park building. And I remember the first tweet about me in town was, who is this new idiot that bought a library right next to a liquor store and in front of a fire station? And it literally, I started that day and then went to the board meeting. I didn't know it was on the agenda. went into executive session and they bought it. So I'm like, oh, this is great. So I was just waiting for the tweet to be like, here's the idiot again. Spent all this money on this big building and it's just empty.
No, they came, and some of them haven't even left.
They haven't stopped coming.
No,
So,
They
yeah.
have not.
All right. Sauce number 7. We're ready. We've got a Tropic Star Mango Lemongrass. Scoville rating
good.
sits at 110,000.
There's lemongrass.
The
I like
mango
that one
part's
too.
good, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I hear lemongrass, and so I feel like it should be like a vegan nugget.
I might
that was
pass
really
on
good.
that.
I was thinking a little sake on the side.
So if someone were to create something at LINC, utilizing its full potential as you see it, what kind of big idea project would you get excited about helping someone see through?
So I have an idea. And this is actually something that's probably going to happen at Erie, so I've been trying to talk them into coming to LINC. But there's actually a small movie producer and production company that's wants to shoot a zombie movie and incorporate the library.
Okay.
So if I had my way, I'd get them to come here, utilize all the resources to build all the special effects and everything, and then shoot it through the library, and then of course do things in the green screen here.
I am absolutely down with that.
Yeah, I mean, I was there with Ian when we talked about we were talking about the guy that wants to do the video, and
Yeah.
I'm already gonna be involved, and definitely we're helping, even if it's just an area. But I agree. I think it'd be awesome if we could bring it here and help make their production even better.
I think one idea is I did a training with a woman who is part of the theater at like Greeley West, and she was like, wait, could we come and learn and like do some of our set design stuff here? I was like, absolutely yes. Like personally I'd like that because it's like my intro into woodworking and all that, doing set crew in high school. So being able to do that, because the high schools don't all have the wood shop and everything, so it's allowing that extracurricular. It's kind of following in line with like how we're working on teaching the trades and getting high schoolers into that. So being able to partner with high schools and build set designs and that stuff that utilizes the wood shop, it utilizes the lasers, the 3D printers, like
Cosplay,
all of
sewing,
it.
costuming. That's
Like,
great. That's a great idea.
Working with theater, I think, is something that really utilizes everything. I know Rob was the librarian in residence a while ago, and he wrote a play, so I'm trying to convince him to let us put it on.
Oh, please do.
We have a
Yeah,
raised
love to see it.
platform
We do.
with a curtain.
Thank you for calling it his platform and a stage. Let me go grab
All
my
right,
other
buckle up
water
because
first.
we have the bomb evolution.
Here, I'll get you.
Here, mine hasn't been used yet. You can just
Oh, I got
take
mine.
that one.
This is the bomb. This is the worst one.
This is the worst one, right?
This is the worst one.
That tastes like an ashtray.
Heavy ashtray.
Kind of tastes like death.
Here comes the coughs and the sneezes and oh yeah, that's no good.
I'm sure I'm drinking water.
Yeah, I would not eat a bunch of those.
No,
There's something in that
hold
that
off.
tastes remarkably similar to something, but I can't
It is.
place
It's like
what
eating
it
an
is.
it's like eating an ashtray. It just
yeah.
So it's that like Chipotle smoked flavor where they try to make it taste like bacon or different things,
Yeah.
but it really just tastes like I forgot to turn off the oven and I left a hot dog in there, and now we just have a charred once upon a hot dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So on that,
dumpster fire and
Library-
chili had a baby.
library staff famously receive a lot of weird questions and requests, and I assume that translates a lot to maker services and to some of the things that we do here at LINC. So what are the weirdest projects that you've helped people with? Or what are some of the weirdest requests that you've tried to accommodate?
A laser cut cat casket. It was pretty high on my list. Yeah, that one was a bit odd. But I like when patrons bring the weird. It's intriguing and it keeps it from getting...
Somehow that does
monotonous.
not surprise me at all from what I know of you.
Oh, yeah. I like the strange. One of my more obscure projects that was a little bit odd is I had a gal come in and she sews these cuttlefish stuffed animals for her grandkids. And her pattern was on a standard PDF, but she was having trouble cutting out the pieces. So I was like, hey, I think we can use the Cricut for that. And she comes in, and I was like, I have a devious idea. And she's like, what? And I was like, we can make it even bigger, and let's cut it on the laser. So we cut all the pieces out for these cuttlefish on the laser, and by the time she was done sewing it, it was taller than me.
Wow.
So that one was odd, but also super happy with it. And as much as I wouldn't laser cut a cat casket for myself, that patron left really happy too, and they're pleased. So
I'm having
all in
the
a good day's work.
Not a heart attack, right?
No, but
How's your left arm feel?
we're good.
We've done some big wooden steins on the lathe, and people are just starting to push themselves a little more as we go.
Wooden chain. I think
Grand
that's one.
Canyon
Wooden
rolling
chain.
pin.
Yeah. As far as weird requests, I maintain the weirdest request is to be the executor of an estate.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, that was
But that just goes to show too how inviting and how comfortable our patrons are with us, that they feel like we're family and close enough that they would want us to do that for them. You know.
Yeah.
I think they nailed the craziest project.
Yeah,
stuff.
absolutely. Are we
I'm
ready
sure
for
we're
more
missing
chicken?
some.
I think we're ready to suffer.
Okay, so the good news is Zuzu's 7-pot blend. 7 different peppers, and a taste of maple syrup. So it's a little sweeter than the last
Sweeter
one.
than last.
Sweet
The bad
heat.
news is 620,000 on the Scoville. So
And
here we go.
135 was the last.
Last one was
620,000.
135. Yep.
Well, and I know where the last one goes. They're just big.
That wasn't near as hot.
Unless it kicks in at the end.
Oh,
Yeah.
got it in the back.
Oh,
of
and
my
that
throat.
little touch of maple right there. That's
Yeah,
nice.
that's nice. They all hit different, you know?
Yeah, they hit in different spots.
They do.
So far, only one of them I've wanted to hit back.
I bet I know which
Yep.
one.
Dumpster fire.
I mean, I don't think I would go out of my way to eat that one again,
The maple,
just because it's hot.
it's a weird blend.
Yeah.
They seem a little mismatched.
Yeah.
Because I got hard maple at the end, and it's a little on the funny side.
It's probably pot 5.
So,
But
in your
great for
opinion,
pot chicken.
what does year 2 hold for LINC? If we're plotting the trajectory on a map, where do you think we should be headed? What does the road look like? And how hopeful are you that we'll get there?
I think once you start and brand yourself as an innovation center, then you have to continually be innovative. And I think part of that is making sure to maintain the validity of your spaces with that brand. So what is going on in the world around us, in the community around us, and what does our community need, and how does that fit into innovation so that we can get that and start bringing that to the people that we have coming in. We take the feedback that they give us, and we listen to it, and getting new equipment or getting new skills to better use the equipment that we have, and just staying innovative. Finding new wacky projects to make, or new things to do, new collaborations. I think all of that is incredibly important to stay innovative.
Well, and I think year 1 was really a figure out what we're doing. Like, the beginning of it was very much, so we're going to have a wood shop. They're going to do stuff with wood.
Very fluid.
It's going to do stuff. And that was pretty much the whole thing of it. And it was kind of my first year goal of make this be something. We're working on doing some pre-apprenticeship certification stuff. Like the average trades age is 55, so we're going to try to get youth into the trades. We have a space we can teach that.
Yeah, I think like listening to the patrons, trying to get new equipment or new skills, like Alyssa said, staying up with what the trends are, what people are into, you know, that means also phasing out stuff too, getting rid of things that we're not going to use anymore, you know, and just keeping up on our tech. You know, I think we all text and message each other all sorts. Did you guys see this? Did you guys see this? Continuing to do that so we can be innovative and stay on that, you know, not bleeding edge, but at least cutting edge kind of with our services and what we provide for our patrons. But I think really our patron feedback should drive and is driving where we're going. And I think sublimation is a perfect example of that. It's one of our most asked about things, and now we have it, you know, and
Yeah, we take what the community is requesting and what they need, and we get it,
community need, I think, is the real,
and
yeah.
we figure it out so that we can, you know, give that to them.
Yeah. I was going to say sublimation, but David Ray stole it. I think there's
Ditto.
Something to,
well, I think there's also opportunities too with, you know, some of the businesses that moved into towns, like with Alquist. Is there some kind of 3D printing, concrete printing that we can figure out how to do? You know, what kind of partnerships can we do to bring those things in?
Well, when they came in and met with me and we talked real quick, you know, I even kind of joked. I was like, we're out of storage. Could you make me like a storage shed out there in the back? And they're like, oh, that'd be really cool. So, you know, I think it'd be cool if we could have on some of our locations some 3D printed structures, even if it's very small, just to show people what a 3D printed structure has and just being on that innovative stuff, you know.
we have one more chicken to eat. So this is the Last Dab experience, made with, I believe it was 92% Pepper X.
The bomb was still the worst.
Yeah. We have heard comments that LINC is either a very strange library or possibly it's not even a library at all at this point, that it's something different. What do you think? How do you define a modern library? And does LINC still count?
Yes.
Yes. I think it does because, I mean, in my opinion, a library is a place to acquire knowledge. And we're doing that through skills and books still, obviously. We're just expanding our way that we provide knowledge.
I think it's that whole thing of you need to be able to broaden the definition of what something is. Like, is knowledge just books? No. It's on the internet. It's skills. It's equipment.
Well, and I think a library also, sorry, I just hit in a weird spot. Not only knowledge, it's just to better your life. And, you know, learning a new skill, coming home with something cool, you know, like these cutting boards we all have, you know, it's something that I feel like it's a nice thing. And, you know, giving a cool place to cool off in the summer, a warm place in the winter. I mean, it's just better. We better people's lives in general, and I think that's what this does.
I think we're just at a point in time where things are starting to change a little. If we think back to what libraries were before computers were commonplace, when computers first came into libraries, it marked a pretty significant change. And at the time, they're like, well, if it has computers, is it really still a library? And it's very similar in the fact that we're bringing in a lot of tech and extra things, and it's like, but is it still a library? And at its core, it absolutely still is. We're in a transitional phase. We're bringing on the next generation of libraries, and we are just at the early end of that, you know?
Well, and I think that's also the evolution. We used to argue about that in library school all the time. About what is information, is it only found in books? Well, no, it's found in anywhere you want. It's just a different method of, you know, packaging it and delivering it. And that's what this represents. So yes, it's the library.
Well, thank you so much. Alyssa, Aaron, Matt, David, thank you for letting me talk you into this this ridiculous task of trying to answer questions. while we eat some of the hottest sauces we've ever had, although several of them were pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any parting thoughts? Do you have anything else that you want to say in closing?
I can't feel my tongue.
I feel it just hurts.
Told you liked spicy food.
Yeah.